What's good? What's good? What's good, guys? We're going to get started here in a couple minutes. The link is live. We got about 250. This is going to fill up fast. Make sure you get this to your teams before it caps out. We're at 1,000. We're at 3,010, 310, 350. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Get the link out, guys. There's going to be so much value. As you guys know, I've been mentored by one of the greats, and, I'll get into this here in a second, but you do not want to miss this information. We're approaching 500. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Get the Zoom ID out. Guys, this is going to be insane value, right? We just touched 500, right? So we're probably got maybe 60 seconds left before this call maxes out, approaching 600. So a lot of value, guys. Grab your pens, grab your paper, grab a gallon of water, right? We're going to be, the only thing really that I ask, house rules on this call is take notes, not for me, not for our special guest, but for the information, guys. You don't understand who we have on this call. You do not understand who we have on this call. We about almost 700. So we're going to give it about 2 minutes or until the call is capped. And we're at 700. So let's go, let's go, let's go. 60 seconds to 1 minute, and we'll get rocking. Hey, the last stretch. We're almost at 900. Can we get 1,000? Guys, drop where you're calling from. Drop where you're calling from in the chat box. Who is excited? And the chat box is going to break. I can't even see because it's going so fast. I don't know. Philly, Indiana, UK, San Diego, Trinidad, UK again, Scotland, Germany, Miami. I'm going like naming one every 5 or 6 of them. Bay Area, Toronto, Chicago, Scotland again, Washington, New York, Maui, Naptown, Dallas, Charlotte, Naptown, and we just capped. Oh, we can go over it. 103, 1,003. Cool. I think we're capped at 1,003. That's where we're at. You snooze, you lose. All right. I promoted this for a couple of days, so this will not be recorded. We're going to be doing some things here in the future. I got a special guest. So guys, right, the chat box is going nuts. So I'm super excited. Let me turn my video on really quick. Perfect, guys. So for you guys that can't see me and everything, I am super excited for this call on a few things. So we're going to go ahead and kick this off. Since we already maxed it out. But like I said, I'm super excited to be on this call with you. Man, I think it was I don't even know what month, like September, October last year. For you guys that have been following me, I'm huge into personal development. Kind of my story. I'm not going to come on here and share everything. This isn't about me, right? This is about someone a lot more successful, a lot more knowledgeable, and a lot more experienced, right? And about 5-6 months ago, I got introduced to this gentleman at a Bob Proctor conference at Paradigm Shift, if I'm not mistaken. And, halfway through the seminar, we go to a private dinner with Bob Proctor. And I sit next to this gentleman. We're all talking about, growing goals and everything. And, we started talking and we just kind of clicked. And, when vibrations, when frequencies are aligned, magic can happen. And I got to know this gentleman a little bit, and he kind of wanted to share. He shared his vision with me of really helping the masses. Last year I spent, I would probably say over 6 figures in personal development, and we wanted to create something, that's really going to help the masses, and do these webinars, for you guys to hit your goals, because that's what it's all about. Is finding where you're at, so where you can go. And with this gentleman, he's been traveling around the world, speaking at conferences, you know, double, triple, if not quadruple, you know, the experience that I have. You know, I've only been doing this for a short amount of time, a few years. And when I found, you know, Brian, this individual, and I got to talking to him, I was like, wow, you have a lot of value that you can give back. You have a lot of value, you know, to impact, because that's what it's all about, is impacting people, you know, and helping them get to the next level. And, you know, we got to talking a little bit, we exchanged contact information, and next thing you know, we were collaborating, and here we are on a call. So I'm super, super excited, guys. Just one house rule. All I ask of you guys, you know, for this next hour is to take notes. He's going to be going over a lot of information that, one, you've never heard of, but majority of you have. You know, he's the number one coach of Bob Proctor's, right? Number one coach of Bob Proctor, making a lot of money. But most importantly, he has the information to take you from where you are, right? From where you are right now, to where you're going, right? He's going to give you the tools, the mindset to grow as an individual, grow as an entrepreneur, and grow as a business person. So guys, please take notes. That's all we ask, is take notes, guys. And, you know, pay attention, because this information, when applied, can change your situation. So without further ado, Brian, are you on the call, my man? Thank you for hopping on here and sharing, you know, the value, the impact that you can have. Appreciate you, my man.
Hey, brother. Thanks for that warm welcome. Can you hear me okay? Awesome. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate you too as well. Yeah, when you and I connected there, it was at the paradigm shift, and like you said, sparks kind of flew. When you get around like-minded people, it's amazing what you can create. So I really appreciate you having us on. I appreciate the chance to give value to your network, and that's really what we're all about doing. We created this Matrix Mindset Academy so nobody gets left behind. And what we're really doing here is trying to get we are getting this information out. It's the information that was really only privy to the top 1%, right? People that could afford 10, 20, 30, $50,000 in coaching. So what we're doing here, we're going to give you quite a bit of value. It's going to be like drinking from a fire hose. So take notes, like Luc said, and you're going to get some ideas that you can use from here to really increase your wealth. And that's what we're doing here. We're going to teach you how to think and act and operate like the world's wealthiest 1%. And that's not my opinion when I tell you this. If you look at the lineage of what we're doing here, you can see it goes all the way back to Andrew Carnegie, right? So my mentor, Bob Proctor, he's been teaching me this, and we've been coaching around the world in the wealth mindset applied towards wealth building. And it's not his information, right? He's just been a really good student. He was mentored by Earl Nightingale. And you can see here that Earl Nightingale was mentored by Napoleon Hill. As many of you guys know, Napoleon Hill wrote the book Think and Grow Rich. He spent his entire adult life researching the way the world's wealthiest people think and act and operate it. And he put it in a manual called Think and Grow Rich. And Napoleon's mentor was Andrew Carnegie, right? The world's first recorded billionaire from the late 1800s. So everything you're going to see here, guys, tonight, it's not my opinion. It's not my information. I've just been a really good student. This is literally the way the world's wealthiest people think and act and operate and process information. I always say this is not a Tony Robbins course. Nothing against Tony. We're digging deeper than that. We're going to show you how the conscious and the subconscious and the body come together to create wealth. All right, guys, so sit back, like Luc said, take some notes. We're gonna get started here. So here's the deal. Wealth building is 95% mindset, and it's 5% what you do. Now, this may seem like a big number, but it's not. I'm gonna prove it, right? You can be a stock trader on the stock exchange like these guys here, right? Trading stock at the New York Stock, or you can be a stock trader, right? Warren Buffett is just an amazing stock trader. So what's the difference? It's not the industry, it's not the vertical, it's not stocks, it's mindset, right? Same thing. You can be in real estate like a realtor or a contractor, or you can be in real estate like Uncle G, right? Now think about this, really think about this. What's the difference, right? The difference is not the industry. The difference is 1000% mindset. And it's the same thing, guys. Many of you here are probably in network marketing, right? Here's the GoPro Mastery. We go here every single year, front and center. So you can be in network marketing, or, right, you can be in network marketing. Now, many of you here probably know Alex, and Alex is kicking some butt here in network marketing. He's a young guy. He's a student. He trains one-on-one with Bob, just like Luc and a whole bunch of other people. So what you got to understand is success leaves clues. And you can see Alex here is getting more information from one of his other mentors, Grant Cardone, right? So it's all mindset, guys. 95% of what you're doing is not the business you're in. It's how you process information. And what we see here, we created the Mindset Master so that nobody gets left behind. It's $19 a month, 67 cents a day. We're going to get you a link at the end. If you get some value out of this, feel free to join us here. But that's not the purpose of this, guys. I'm not here to sell you on anything. I'm here to help you guys because Luc is a good friend. And he told me that his network could really use this information. All right. So what I'm going to tell you here is, again, it's not my opinion. This is by law. It's not by opinion. And I use this information myself to develop many, many companies. When I was very young, I used this information to scale my construction company from $1 million to 10 million in 12 months. I then used the information to create a software company, a gaming company, a Forex trading company, a consulting company, right? And I don't say any of this to impress you guys. It's like, what's the difference? I was going one way for the first 40 years, right? I was a mechanical engineer, I was an architect and a builder, but I had inferior results. Superior intellectual education, but inferior results. I was barely making 100 grand a year. And at 40 years old, I call that American broke, right? So since then, I've gone on to create multiple companies. Like I said, the CEO of 4 companies. And you're going to learn some of the same information here. All right, guys. So the first thing I want you to understand is that we speak things into existence. That's not a cute phrase. That's physics. We literally speak things into existence. If you have negative talking in your mind, if you have doubt and worry, well, you're creating that. Now, if you super saturate your mind with abundance and success, you're going to create that too. And I'm going to prove this to you, right? Even Jesus and the apostles, right? The power of the word. Jesus did not have a gun to people's head, right? He used the power of the word, very, very powerful, to inspire millions and millions, even billions, and still inspiring. And Hitler did the same thing. He did nothing but the power of the word to create mass genocide. Now, Hitler's reign was very short-lived, and Jesus lives on forever. But the power of the word, you want to understand, it's the language that we're using for ourselves. If you say you can't, you're right. And if you say you can, you absolutely can. And we can prove this over and over and over. It's that internal language that you got to pay attention to, right? Do you really believe you can get to 6 figures a month, 7 figures a month? I know many of you guys here are looking to do that. We can absolutely help. So I'm going to give you guys some examples that we speak things into existence, right? Most people normally, when they want to have a family, they talk to each other. Let's have a baby, right? Next thing you know, they they do the deed and they have a baby, right? Now that sounds overly simple, right? Because we all know how to make babies and it's fun. But I want you to think about that. From the thought to the thing, from the no thing to the something, from a thought to a physical human being. We speak everything into existence. It's just levels of awareness is what's different and limiting beliefs. All right, guys? So I'll give you another example. Ordering a pizza. Most people here have ordered a pizza sometime in their life, and we take this for granted. Well, of course I can do that, right? Well, what is this? This is a transmutation of energy. From the thoughts, from the no thing to the something. I want you to really think about this. When you order a pizza, you get a thought in your mind. It's nothing, it's energy. And you're like, I'm hungry, I want a pizza. So you pick up the phone, right? You pick up your little supercomputer, and you don't realize this, but you're projecting your voice into a thing that steps up the vibration many, many millions of times. It transfers your voice through the ether to the Domino's guy, and right, and it steps it back down, and then they're listening to you speak, I want a pizza, and all of a sudden, you see that people are moving into motion, creating your pizza. So you literally moved people into motion with your thought energy. Does this make sense, guys? Type in the chat if this is resonating, if this is making sense, because this is a transmutation of energy, and so is getting to $100,000 a month. There is absolutely no difference. And I want to prove this to you. Think about a 3-month-old baby. Can a 3-month-old baby order a pizza? Right? They can't even move their arms and legs, never mind dial a phone or speak. They are just not aware of how to order a pizza. Well, some of you are just not aware of how to get to 6 or 7 figures a month. It doesn't make it hard or easy or big or small or good or bad. It just means you're not aware. Does that make sense, guys? I'm going to give you some more examples. For those of you that know Bob Proctor, Bob did not start off anywhere near where he was, right? He was, when he was 26 years old, he had really failed quite miserably. I mean, he was a product. His parents grew up in the Great Depression, so he didn't have the best of a childhood. 2 months of schooling in high school, he went into the Navy, almost got booted out of there. When he got out of the Navy, he had 18 jobs in 12 months, and they were all bartending, and he got kicked out for drinking. Now, I'm not saying this to disparage Bob. He'll tell you this story himself. What I'm saying is that man went from pretty much a derelict, right, to who he is now, right? He's a multimillionaire by age 31, back in the 60s when $1 million was a lot of money. And he did this through study, right? Constant study, through action, through faith, right? He persisted over time, raised his level of awareness, and he understood that I am. So this is a transmutation of energy. Every single person on this call right now is at a higher level of awareness than Bob Proctor was when he was 26 years old. And that's not my opinion. You can talk to him yourself. He says, I was not that bright. I was not a good student. I was failing at almost everything. So if Bob can do it, you all can do it too, right? And I love when he tells his story, because everybody looks at Bob like he's a superhuman, and he is, but so are you. We're all superhumans, right? So guys, everything is just levels of awareness. It's not hard or easy unless you label it hard or easy, right? 50,000 a month or a year, most like the average, I think, salary in the United States is 50,000 a year between a couple. That's just a level of awareness. Now, nobody here is making 50 grand a year because that's what you want to do. You're making 50 grand because that's what you're aware of doing. Just like the baby that is not able to order the pizza. Well, eventually, eventually we become aware, right? So 100K a year, 250K a year. Nobody's making 250K a year because that's what they want. Think about that. They're making 250K a year because that's what they're aware of how to do, right? So there's not much difference going from 50K to 250K a month or a year. They're just levels of awareness. It all starts with decision, guys. Most people do not know how to make a decision. They do not know how to set a goal. They set goals based on what they think they can achieve versus what they want. And that's what we're going to talk about here. So $500,000, $1 million, $5 million a year, $5 million a month, it doesn't matter. There's no such thing as big or small, right? 5 million is just a frequency. It's a level of awareness, right? It exists now for you. As soon as you make the decision that you want to get to 5 million a year, you are putting things in motion. You are putting energy out into the universe for that to happen. And this is what happens through the spaced repetition of study. You can't just have a fleeting thought about 5 million a year. You have to have a dominant thought. You have to supersaturate your mind. And I know Luc and Alex, and they talk to you guys about this. They're always talking about, high frequencies, high vibrations, raising your vibration. Well, that's what they're doing. These guys wake up like champions. They wake up with morning rituals. They put the information in their mind, and they meditate, and they think about this, and they fantasize about it. Anybody that's ever successful, they're doing this long before they're ever successful. And here's what happens as you study and study and you take action. You study and take action. You study and take action. Slowly but surely, you start to raise your level of awareness until you hit your goal. Now, guys, this is not my opinion. This is physics and science. But whether you think you can or whether you think you cannot, you are correct. That's what Henry Ford said, right? So here's the deal. You can go through this and you can set your goals. And this is what happened when I was talking to Luc. Same thing happened with him. He set some pretty lofty goals, or at least he thought so. Then he realized he hit some of those goals and he said, you know what? I could have got to 10 million a year or 10 million a month, right? There is no such thing as big or small. The earth is not big or small, right? It's not big or small. All we have is conscious awareness and the universal law of relativity. So the earth is not big or small until you compare it to a golf ball or the universe. Does that make sense? So 50K a year is not big or small, and 50K a month or a week or a day is not big or small. It's all on how you're viewing it. It's your perception. And if you think 50K a week is a lot of money, then you're never going to get to it, because it's an XY vibration. It's a double binding message from your conscious to your subconscious. So the first thing you all got to do is fall in love with your goal and then make it seem small through the repetition, through studying, right? So guys, type in the chat. Let me pop open the chat here. I want to get you guys interacting. Type in the chat. What do you guys think this is? What is this? Baby, baby, baby. Baby, 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 right? Yeah, it's a baby, but this is you. This is you and your current income. And I don't care what you're making. This is you. If I put you in a room with Warren Buffett, this is you. This is also me at this point too, because Warren's a master. $81 billion in net worth and assets. But this is us. Right? Now, this is not good or bad. It's just the level of awareness, a liability. That's a good one, right? So this is us, right? And here we are again, right? If you take a brand new baby, and you put the baby down and you give the baby its clothes, you say, put your clothes on, baby. The baby's just going to probably spit up on the clothes. It might crap its diaper or something, but it's not going to put the clothes on, right? We would use the word impossible. Impossible. A brand new baby, it's impossible. They can't even move their arms. They don't even know what clothes are, right? It is not aware of how to put its clothes on. I want you to think about this, and I'm assuming, I can't see y'all, but I'm assuming everybody here is dressed. I'm thinking there's 1,000 people here, and I don't think you're sitting at home naked watching this webinar. So that tells me that you're aware of how to get dressed, right? You're aware of how to get dressed. But we would call this impossible when we're not aware of how to do that. Does that make sense? I'm not judging you, Chris. All right, guys. So here we go again. Here we go again. What do you guys think this is? What do you guys think this is? Baby experimenting, messy baby, silly baby, mess, headache, developing, messy. No, this is still you. This is still you. This is when you get an idea in your head. You know what? I'm going to hit Chairman 100. I'm going to hit $100,000 a month. And you try something and it doesn't work, right? And you try it again. But what happens, here's the difference. Most adults, we curl up in a ball. We internalize it. We get we buy our own excuses. We get self-pity. We get into pity parties, right? The brand new baby doesn't care. And this is what I'm going to say to you guys. Write this one down. You guys cannot give a shit what people think. You want to get to 6 figures a month, 6 figures a week, 7 figures a month. You cannot care what the people around you think because almost none of them are on that frequency. It's not going to make sense. They're not going to understand what you're doing. They're going to think you're crazy. They're going to say stupid things. You can't do that. Maybe you can't do that, but I can do this. That's your opinion, right? So guys, this is still us. This is when you're cutting your teeth. This is when you're trying to get out there and make it happen. But I want you to pay attention to this picture. This baby's not crying right now. This baby's having a blast. Guys, get out there and mess it all up. Screw it all up and have fun with it. Life is a journey. Your goal is the result of a progressive journey. Have fun along the ways, right? Get out there and mess it all up, screw it all up, fail fast, fail forward, and fail often, because this is the trial and error process. Now, here's the last thing with this baby picture, guys. Here's what I want you to understand. If you're not where you want to be, if you're struggling out there right now, here's the deal. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Not unless you're very well versed in this content. It's not your fault of where you're at because you were born into a society that doesn't understand wealth building. Your parents didn't know, not unless you were born Warren Buffett's son. Like your parents didn't know how to build wealth. Their parents, it's generational ignorance. My parents certainly didn't. I love my parents, right? I had to learn that. I had to raise my level of awareness. I had to go out and seek after it. I had to fall on my face. I had to build companies, close companies, and just, trial and error. But I never stopped, and you got to persist and keep studying. So guys, don't beat yourself up because that's a complete waste of time. If you're sitting home saying, oh, I haven't made it, and what did I do yesterday? You're just wasting time, right? Don't waste time. That's the definition of stupidity. Don't beat yourselves up. It's not your fault. Let's just come together and learn the stuff and move forward, right, guys? So here comes the baby again, right? Here's the deal. This is a transmutation of energy. From a baby to Warren Buffett, no different. The only difference is the repetition of study, the repetition of action, the repetition of constant unwavering faith, the compressing time, right? Compressing those time cycles. Don't spend a week, in misery if you had a failure. Get up quickly, right? You want to compress those time cycles. You want to raise your level of awareness. And then you want to understand at some point that you are, I am, we are, energy is. We are all part of the same creative consciousness that's created anything. And you have the same ability as I do, the same ability that Luc does, right? We all have the same creative ability. Nobody is born with any more or less creative ability. It's just levels of awareness. All right, guys. So in this next picture here, we're looking at, you're a conduit, right? You're a conduit for energy flow. Human beings, energy is always flowing to and through us. Now, you guys don't really think too much when you turn a light switch on and you see a light come on, but that's an energy flow, right? Now, if you flick the light switch up and down, up and down, up and down, you're not going to get consistent light. This is what most people are doing in their businesses. They want the 100,000 a month, but the damn switch is off, right? They're not reaching out to 50 people a day, 500 people a week. They're not putting in the time. They're not consistently putting out the energy. And there is not a single thing in this universe that is created without consistent energy flow. Guys, that's not my opinion. It's physics. My background before this was mechanical engineering. And that's why I instantly resonated with Bob, and I instantly went to the top of his company and many other companies, because this is physics and science. It's not my opinion. So you guys are creative beings, but you got to do your part, right? You got to keep the energy flowing. You got to take the action. You got to study and take action, study and take action. Does this make sense, guys? Guys, type in the chat if this resonates. Type a 1 if this is making sense. Awesome, awesome. Lots of ones, lots of ones. So thoughts become things. Thoughts become things. And if you don't think this is true, think about Steve Jobs. He's a visionary. What does that mean? What does visionary means? It means I know how to hold an image in my imagination, in my conscious mind, until my subconscious mind grabs a hold of it, causes my body to move into action to create the thing. It's a transmutation of energy. This is a universal principle like gravity. And nobody here can explain gravity, but you're all in harmony with it, right? We're not going to jump off of a 15-story building. All right, guys, here comes the big test. Type in the chat, what is wrong with this picture? Take a look at this picture. Tell me what's wrong with it. Tell me what's wrong with this picture. Switch is off, right? The switch is off. This is what's going on. If you have doubt and worry, negative thinking, this is not opinion, it's physics. I can't, I have doubt. What if it doesn't work? Worrying is like praying for what you don't want. It's the opposite of creation. You can't have worry and get to 6 figures a month. It's against physics. It's not against my opinion. It's against physics of creation. And you sure as hell can't be wondering what other people think. This is the biggest killer. It's not the fear of public speaking. It's the fear of what other people think about you public speaking. That's what stops people. I've been around the world coaching people in industries and businesses and even CEOs. You're not afraid of the thing. You're not afraid of foreclosure. You're afraid of what your neighbors think about you in foreclosure. Does that make sense, guys? We got to stop caring what other people are thinking because other people aren't thinking. Look at the millions and millions of people smoking. That is a prime example. And no offense if you're a smoker, but guess what? You're not thinking. Smoking is not a physical addiction. It's a mental one. And we control our minds. And that's what we're doing here tonight. All right, guys. So this is much like working with ice cubes, right? If you're cold, you don't work with ice cubes. You don't turn on the air conditioner. You don't go jump in a frozen lake. But this is what people are doing, right? They're putting out energy in the wrong direction and wondering why they're not at 6 figures. They're wondering why their relationships are in the toilet. They're wondering why they look in the mirror and they don't like their body, right? They're working with the negative energy, right? If you want to get warm, you don't work with ice cubes. You only work with things that are going to get you warm. You put on a coat. You stoke up a fire, right? You turn up the thermostat. If this makes so much sense, right? If you're cold, you don't work with cold to get heat. So if you want to get to 6 figures a month, you can't work with fear, doubt, and worry to get there. It's against physics. It's physically impossible. You got to say, I can instead of I can't. You got to have faith instead of fear. You got to have gratitude instead of worry. And you can't care what other people think. This makes sense, guys? This resonating, hitting home? Awesome, awesome. Albert Einstein said insanity is the definition, right? Doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. That's insane. You got to do something different. You got to study different. You got to take different action. You got to do the opposite of what the masters are doing. But guess what? It's actually easy to do. It's actually easy to do. It's not hard to reach out to 50 people a day and present your business opportunity. It's not hard to study every night instead of watching TV. It's not hard at all. It's just a choice. It's just a decision. And guys, there's a reason why 96% of the world's wealth is earned by 1% of the population. That's not my opinion. This is a statistic, right? We got to wonder why that is. Why is this? 96% of the wealth is earned by 1% of the population, right? And guys, even here in America, 93% of the people get to retirement and they have to work second jobs. If you don't believe me, go to the Home Depots, go to the Lowe's, go to the grocery stores midday, and you're going to see senior citizens working in the grocery stores. Now, God, there's nothing wrong with working at Home Depot or the grocery stores. If somebody's retired and they want to get out for a social activity, that's great. But earning money, $15 an hour, I mean, that's the worst possible thing you can do. Why is it? Even in America, 93% of people cannot retire at retirement age because they have not set up a plan. Nobody ever stepped in and taught them how to build wealth, right? The reason why there's so many broke old people is there's so many broke young people that never take the time to learn wealth building, right? And again, guys, it's not your fault. If you're struggling, it's not your fault up until now, right? Now you're getting knowledge. Now you're getting an awareness, right? And Bob Proctor looked me right in the eye and he said, listen, there's a difference between ignorance and stupidity, right? Ignorance is not knowing. Stupidity is knowing and not doing something. So after this webinar, guys, you will no longer be ignorant. No more excuses. You're going to learn how to make decisions, and we're going to teach you how to do this, all right? So guys, the reason why I say it's not your fault, we're simply not taught how to build wealth in schools. We're not taught decision-making. We're not taught self-image, right? We're not taught wealth building. I mean, if there was wealth building in high school, I would have signed up for that, right? We're taught, you know, a little science, little math, little history, little English. They're teaching you to be a damn school teacher, right? And we're certainly not taught paradigms, guys. And paradigms is the name of the game. And Luc understands this at a very high level. He's been shifting his paradigm. And for those of you that know him in this past year, you've seen a quantum leap in performance. And this is why. This is exactly why, right? It's paradigms. It's understanding paradigms and understanding how to change them. So guys, a paradigm is nothing more than a big fancy word to describe a set of mental programs that are stored in your subconscious mind that are causing all of your habitual nature. I want you to think about this. It's the programs that are stored in your subconscious mind that are causing all of your results. And here's the deal. You did not put the programs there. Since you were born, your parents did, the schools did, your neighbors did, everything but you. You have not been in control of these programs, right? So it's not your fault up until now, right? Up until you realize, like, wait a minute, I need to install a program called wealth building. So guys, I want you to think about it this way, right? A paradigm is like an operating system in a computer. You have a set of programs in your subconscious mind that you didn't choose. You didn't choose to speak the language you're speaking, right? When you were born, that was spoken around you, and it went right in your subconscious mind and got stored as a program. So think of your paradigm as an operating system causing all your results. And it's impossible to outperform your paradigm, but you can upgrade it. You can upgrade the programs, you can delete the old ones, and that's what we're talking about here tonight. Does this make sense, guys? Usually when I describe a paradigm like an operating system in a computer, the light bulb goes off. It's like, okay, I was born and I have programs in my mind that are causing all of my results, but I didn't choose those. Does that make sense? So think of a paradigm as an operating system in a human being. It's identical to this, all right? So you have programs called walking. You didn't choose to walk. You had mentors called parents, and they taught you to walk, right? You didn't choose to speak, like I said, and damn well sure people don't consciously choose smoking. Think about this, right? Spending $10 a pack, every single one is like a nail in a coffin, choosing to kill yourself one drag after another. Nobody would ever want to consciously do this. This is how powerful your environment is. Anybody here, if you're smoking, it's an environmental thing. If you're vaping, same thing. And these things are not good for you, right? So this is not a thinking person, but this was done around you. This is how powerful a paradigm is. This is how powerful your environment is. And I'll give you a really good example. I want you guys to close your eyes for a second. I want you to really imagine, whatever age you are, doesn't matter, man, woman, right? I want you to imagine that you had grown up, right, as Warren Buffett's son or daughter. I want you to think about this. Imagine you had grown up as Warren Buffett's son or daughter, and you spent the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years, however old you are, in that environment, the environment of billionaires. Where do you think you would be right now financially, right? So guys, again, it's not your fault. You haven't been in the mindset of billionaires. Well, at the Matrix Mindset Academy, that's what we teach. And for the first time, as far as I know in history, we are offering this at a level that's 67 cents a day. Normally, this is 10, 20, 30, 40,000 private coaching. Luc and I have spent, hundreds of thousands learning this stuff. So what we're doing here, guys, is we're offering this for 67 cents a day, and we're going to show you how to do that. All right, guys, so wealth building, it's a habit. Wealth building is a habit. You can learn this. Anybody can learn this. I can teach this to a freaking 5-year-old. It's not complicated. We're just not taught in schools, and we're not taught, right? Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that's a really good book, whoever just commented that. But again, you could read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Millions of people have read that book, and nothing happens because they don't understand how to rewire the programming, right? They read the book, and then they put it down. Then they go back to their 9-to-5 job the next day, right? They don't cash it all in. They don't take a chance. They don't follow, the instructions. And again, that's because of the paradigm. Guys, your subconscious mind is 1,000,000 times more powerful than your conscious mind as a data storage center, right? This is why it becomes very difficult to change paradigms if we don't understand how they got there, right? So I'm going to show you guys how the 1% thinks. Now, if we want to change our mind, the first thing we got to figure out is, what does our mind look like? So guys, type in the chat, what do you think the mind looks like? What do you guys think the mind looks like? If we're going to change the mind, if we're going to change paradigms, how do we change something, right, if we don't know what it looks like? So what do you guys think the mind looks like? Limitless, creative, a baby, limitless, the universe. I like that. Limitless. There you go. There you go. creative, infinite hamburger, right? Since we don't know what the mind looks like, it's not your brain, right? Your brain is an organ. Your brain is no more your mind than your fingernail, your skin. It's an electronic switching station. All your brain does for the most part is send and receive signals to and through your body, to and through other people, and to and through infinite intelligence, God, or universal consciousness, or whatever you believe in, right? So guys, since we don't know what the mind looks like, how do you change it, right? So what you're seeing here is called the stick man. Dr. Thurman Fleet in the 1930s came up with this image of the mind so we would have a reference. We would have a reference point of what the mind looks like. Now, obviously the mind doesn't look like this, but in this picture, you can see we have a conscious mind, we have a subconscious mind, and we have a body. And once you understand this, you got the keys to the kingdom, because the conscious mind is the thinking mind, but the subconscious mind is driving the ship. When you guys are walking around, you're not thinking about walking, you're accessing a program called walking. Well, for guys like Luke and I, we don't think about wealth building, we just do it. Every day we just get up and we just hammer it, man. We go to work and we have tonalities, we have information, we have programs called wealth building, and we just go to work. It's a habit. We made that habit over time, right? And you guys do the same thing once you understand this. Again, we have the conscious, the subconscious, and the body. So first thing we do, we consciously get the idea, you know what? I want to make chairman 100. I want to make chairman 25. Or I want to build a $100 million real estate portfolio. Whatever your goals are is whatever your goals are. But it starts off in the conscious mind, right? But guys, here's what happens. Since we are programmed in ignorance, generational ignorance, we are programmed to have worry and doubt and negative thinking. And whenever you have worry and doubt in the conscious mind, it has to suppress to and through into the subconscious mind as the emotion of fear, right? The subconscious mind is the emotional mind. So fear is a low vibration. Fear is an illusion. Fear does not exist until you put energy towards it. We don't have anything to fear in life. Even if somebody has a gun to your head, you don't need to fear that. You just need to be aware and take action, right? So fear is an illusion that most people have bought off on from our programming. And when you have fear in the subconscious mind, it has to, by law, express to and through the body in the transmutation of energy as the physical form of anxiety. So if anybody here ever has anxiety, this is why. It comes from ignorance. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean if you don't have worry and doubt, you can never get to anxiety, right? This is a mental thing. It's not a physical thing. By the time you got to anxiety, it's a physical expression, and that means you have worry and doubt and fear. You guys see how this works? So anxiety produces procrastination. We don't like the feeling of anxiety. It feels like a heart attack. It feels like we're going to vomit. And the biggest example is public speaking. Since we don't like the feeling, it's easier just not to do the thing, go sit on the couch, turn on the TV, and watch other people become millionaires, right? That's what people do. They don't like the anxiety, so they stop thinking. Well, that's not what the 1% does. The 1% says, F you, anxiety. I'm moving forward anyway. I'm going to push through the terror barrier. I'm going to get up on stage. I'm going to reach out to 50 people. I'm going to do the thing that's going to make the results, right? Well, guys, this is what happens. Procrastination leads to depression because it doesn't feel good not to create. Not only does it not feel good, human beings, we were designed to create, right? We were born creators. You weren't born to get some dumbass job and work for 40 years not creating anything. It doesn't feel good. It's depressing. We were born to create whatever that is. Maybe it's a global charity. Maybe it's a youth soccer league. Maybe it's $100K a month. Maybe it's a family. Maybe it's a chain of auto body stores. I don't know. It doesn't really matter what you want. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. The worthy ideal is whatever you choose. All right, guys? So depression has to, by law, produce dis-ease, right? You always want to hyphenate that word. It's a body not at ease. All right, guys? So that's how the masses think. That's how we're programmed to think. What we're going to do, we're going to get you on the side of knowledge right here and now tonight. And we don't have to move forward in ignorance. Right from this webinar, you guys are going to have knowledge. And knowledge comes from studying and understanding. It comes from positive thinking and the repetition of studying, right? So studying, understanding, and positive thinking leads to faith. Now, guys, faith is not a religious term, although it can be. Faith is a frequency. Faith is a state of mind, and so is fear, and so is heaven, and so is hell. These are all states of mind. These are all vibrations. This is frequencies, right? So faith leads to a body that's well-being, calm. I always talk about mastering the art of remaining calm. There's no reason to be panicked right now. The entire world is panicking over this little virus, and there's no reason to. There's more opportunity now with people home, being forced to be home, especially if you're in a home-based business, right? Start banging the social media channels, man. There's such an opportunity right now if you're paying attention. right? So we don't have to be panicked. We just need to be aware, right? And this leads to acceleration. It's the body in motion, and that leads to action. And action leads to results, which feel good and puts the body at ease. You guys see how this works? So guys, you should take a snapshot or a screenshot of this. This is called the stick man. And I have these things everywhere. And what I'll do, I'll get a PDF or something out to Luc. I'll get something here out to you guys so he can distribute it to all you guys, all right? So this is the concept. This is the deal. This is the difference between somebody that's failing and somebody like Alex making $1 million a month, right? Network marketing. So guys, I want you to type in the chat, what does this look like to you? I found this picture. What do you guys think this is? What does this look like to you guys? Stress, confused, fear, confusion, overthinking, clutter. Yeah. Right? This is what doubt looks like. This is what worry looks like. When I tell you praying, worrying is like praying for what you don't want. That's not just a cute phrase. Worrying is putting energy out, literally causing the thing that you don't want to happen. If you're worried about debt, you're going to stay in debt. If you're worried about getting sick, you're going to get debt. You're putting energy out into the universe to cause the thing to happen, right? It's no different than transmuting energy any other way. And because we're born in ignorance, we tend to do this stuff, right? Now take a look at this picture, right? Do you think this person is capable of creating anything right now? This is a low vibration. You cannot be in a creative state. It's physically impossible if you're in a low vibration. Low vibration is depression. This is why depressed people hang out together, because it's a law of attraction. Low frequencies attract, and so do high ones. This is why you see billionaires hanging out with each other, right? It's the law of attraction, or I should say the law of magnetism. There's a reason why billionaires hang out with each other. They're high vibrating people, right? All right, guys, so here's another test. What do you think this is a picture of? What do you think this picture summarizes, or what does this look like to you guys? Billionaires, successful, success, money. They weren't always wealthy, right? What else does this look like? Wealth, mentors, a bunch of wealth, happy. Somebody said impossible. That's a bunch of nonsense. Faith. Somebody said it. There it is. Faith, 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 faith. Faith is knowing. Faith is understanding. It's believing in something that doesn't exist, right? Faith is not opinion. Faith is knowing. I don't wonder if my software company is going to sell for $21 billion. I know it is. I know it is. It's just a matter of time. I'm doing the things that are going to make that happen. It's not opinion. And I have people all around me that look at me cross-eyed and crazy. Well, that's their opinion. I know this is going to happen. I don't wonder if it's going to happen. Elon Musk doesn't wonder if he's going to put people on Mars. He knows he's going to. So when I say faith is a mindset, that's not just a cute saying. It's an awareness. It's a level of awareness. You guys got to have faith that you're going to get to 100K a month or $1 million a month, whatever it is you want. It's an understanding. You can't have faith and fear at the same time. It's impossible to be in a faith-based mindset and a fear-based mindset at the same time. It's literally impossible, right? So you got to be one or the other, and either way, it's a choice. All right, guys, so I'm going to go real quickly through some of the universal laws that we have here that are controlling all of your results too. And again, we're not taught this stuff in school, right? We have the law of vibration. We have the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. We have the law of opposites or polarity, the law of rhythms, the law of gender, the law of relativity, and the law of gestation. Now, the law of vibration, some people have heard of this. The law of attraction responds to vibration, right? A lot of people say, oh, I believe in the law of attraction. That's like saying you believe in gravity or electricity. You're either aware or you're not. And if you're not going to attract the circumstances, people, places, and things in your life. So the law of attraction is the secondary law. It responds to vibration. So if you learn how to raise your vibration all the time, you will attract exactly what you're in harmony with. That makes sense? Transmutation of energy, we're going to go over that one. The law of polarity, it's a law of opposites, right? You couldn't have light without darkness. You couldn't be inside without an outside. So all these laws, we're not versed in these in school. And I'm going to go over a couple of these, right? Now, guys, like I said before, believing in these laws doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you believe in them. That's like saying you believe in gravity. And nobody here can explain gravity. I can't do it. I'm a mechanical engineer, and I can't do it. The most erudite physicist in the world, we can't explain gravity. But we're in harmony with it, right? We have theories and opinions, but we don't have concrete evidence, right? But we're in harmony with something we can't explain. Does this make sense? You don't need to understand the law of vibration. You don't need to understand the law of attraction. You don't need to understand transmutation of energy. You just got to do the things that are going to put you in a high vibration. When you get in a vibration that's high, you're going to fall in harmony with the laws of creation. Does this make sense? What you want to do is supersaturate your mind And gratitude's a good one. Somebody just typed in gratitude. That's a high vibration. That's putting out into the universe, thank you for what I have. I would like more of this. It's a high vibration, right? So we can't explain gravity, but we're in harmony with it, right? Now, the law of vibration, everything operates by law. I'm going to give you a quick crash course here. If anybody ever tells you they don't believe in the law of attraction, you're going to be able to prove them wrong. And you know what's really funny here, guys, is even Uncle G, Grant Cardone, says the law of attraction is bullshit. Now, Grant's very successful and he's very aware in real estate, but he's completely ignorant when it comes to the laws of creation like this, because he's actually in harmony with it. He is a very high vibration person. If you've ever seen him speak, he brings the roof down like he's practically yelling at you. He's always in a high vibration, and he's in such a high vibration that everyone around him gets in line. They get on the same page, and they move in motion towards creation. So even though he's very ignorant about these laws, he's what we call an unconscious competent, all right? So there's 1 in a million people that are unconscious competent. But everybody, it's not my opinion, it's law, has to get in harmony with these if they want to create, right? So I'm going to give you a little crash course on the law of vibration. If you were to take an acorn and look at it under a microscope, you're going to see that the acorn is at a certain state of vibration. This is like grade school science, right? If you look at it under a microscope, you'll see that every particle is moving. There's no such thing as a steady state. Every molecule is moving at a low vibration. Well, if we put this acorn in the right environment, right? If we put a baby with Warren Buffett, it's going to learn how to be a billionaire. If we take an acorn, we put it in a little bit of soil in the right environment, what you see is the vibration of the acorn will increase. You can see this under a microscope. It's not my opinion. Because it's in the right environment, the natural laws of the universe and nature and God take over, right? The acorn's vibration raises, and what you see under a microscope, you would see particles, nutrients of water and minerals, subatomic particles dancing from all around that acorn, moving towards the acorn, right? You wouldn't see all the earth clump around it, only the things that is in harmony with. I want you to think about it. The vibration goes up, it attracts everything it's in harmony with. This is physics. When your vibration goes up, you will attract the circumstances, the people, and the things to get to 100K a month, right? This is not opinion, it's physics and science. And you guys can see this. If you've ever seen Alex speak, the guy blows up the stage. Well, what is he doing? He's raising all of your vibrations. It's a transmutation of energy. What he's really doing is speaking to you, right? Well, language is energy, right? It's energy, it's movement, it's vibration. You can literally raise the vibration of 10,000 people just by speaking. Hopefully, guys, I'm raising your vibration right now with knowledge and with my tonalities, right? So everything operates by law. Now, when the vibration of the acorn comes up, it starts to attract all the minerals, all the nutrients, everything it's harmony with, and it starts to grow and stretch and become the higher, bigger, greater version of itself. Now, that law, that's the laws of God and nature. We can't explain that. I can explain vibration, transmutation of energy, but there's God in everything. And whether you call it God or universal consciousness, the fact of the matter is there's life force or energy in everything, including you, and you can tap into the infinite. We all can. And that's what the levels of awareness are all about, guys, all right? So the next time somebody challenges you on the law of vibration or the law of attraction, you should correct them and say, you know what? It's actually the law of magnetism. And magnetism responds to vibration. And this is how vibration works. You'll blow their minds, guys. So, guys, think about this. These are universal laws. These are not my opinion. These are not man-made laws, so they can't be changed by man. So you're either going to get in harmony with them or you're not. And I'm here to help you guys get in harmony through the Matrix Mindset Academy. So what happens if you ignore the universal law of gravity, right? Think about this. Nobody's going to go to the top of a building right now and challenge the universal law of gravity. So why are you challenging vibration or transmutation of energy or the law of opposites or gender or rhythms, right? All these things exist. It pays to study them. I promise you, it pays millions and millions of dollars to study them. All right, guys, so I want you to think about this. I've been ranting pretty hard here, right? Let's take a breath. Let me take a quick drink. All right, guys, think of your subconscious mind as a fertile garden. Now, this is not a metaphor. This is exactly how it happens. Your subconscious mind is wide open to suggestion. It's going to return whatever you plant. That's not my opinion. It doesn't know good from bad. It doesn't know big from small. It doesn't know smoking from wealth building. It doesn't know axe murder from a priest, right? It doesn't know that stuff. Your conscious mind knows that. So your subconscious mind is just waiting for seeds of thoughts to be planted. This makes sense? If you plant the carrot seed in the soil, you're going to get a carrot. If you plant the $100,000 a month seed in your subconscious mind, you're going to get $100,000 a month. That's not opinion, it's science, right? But I want you to think about something. You take a garden like this in the middle of the summer. Let's say you till it up like this in June, and you take 3 months vacation, and you leave that garden just like this, and you come back 3 months later and it's August. What happens to the garden, guys? Does it look like this? I want you to really think about what happens to a garden that you leave for 3 months unattended. Exactly. You get 12 feet of weeds. Where'd the damn weeds come from? You didn't plant weeds, right? Think about this. So the same thing happens with your subconscious mind. In the absence of clearly defined goals, in the absence of clearly defined thoughts in your subconscious mind, you're going to get what you don't want. If you're not consciously planting, by the law of opposites, the law of polarity, you're going to get what you don't want, right? There's no such thing as neutral. If you leave your subconscious mind wide open to the news, to the media, to the teachers, to your parents, to the people that aren't earning 6 figures a month, 7 figures a month, you're going to get what you don't want. So guys, from here on in, there's no more of that, right? Don't leave your mind wide open. If you're not consciously studying every day, then you're unconsciously getting what you don't want. And this is not my opinion. Just look at the numbers. 93% of people get to retirement age because they never consciously planted on a daily basis. This makes sense, guys? Guys, type a 1 in the chat if this is resonating. I'm trying to give you guys examples. We teach this at like a 5th grade level, right? This stuff makes sense, right? Awesome, awesome. Right, so this is the law of polarity or the law of opposites. And just like I was saying, right, you got a conscious, a subconscious, and a body. If you're not consciously planting, right, what you want in your subconscious, it's wide open, then you're going to get what you don't want. So what we're doing here is we're planting seeds of prosperity. I'm giving you guys the tools and the keys to the kingdom. You no longer have to remain ignorant. You know how this works, right? You study trading, you study investing, you study real estate, and then you take action. And if you fail, don't worry about it. That's just feedback. It's so funny how people can spend $100,000 or $200,000 in 4 years of their life, or 6 years, or even 12 years in school, and it's come out make 100 grand or something. But when we invest 50 grand in a business and it flops, we don't take the life lesson. We look at that and we curl up in the ball. That's just school. That's just feedback. I've taken many 6-figure hits, but that's how you get to 7 and 8 figures and 9 figures, right, guys? So think of your subconscious mind like a garden, and don't leave it unprotected. All right, guys? So like I said, wealth building, 95% mindset. I think you can now see this. This is not, I'm not exaggerating this. It has very little to do with the vertical you're in, whether it's real estate, Forex trading, network marketing, Amazon store, Shopify store. I don't care what you're doing. I can teach you to make $1 million a month weaving baskets if you want. We have access to the entire globe, right? So wealth building is 95% mindset, 5% what you do. So I want you guys to imagine, right? I've been ranting here for a little bit, like drinking from a fire hose, I'm sure, but you got some ideas. I want you to imagine joining us in the Matrix Mindset Academy. It's $19 a month, where we're teaching you this stuff, just like we're doing here, spaced repetition of content. What's going to happen tonight is most of this is going to go in one ear and out the other. You're not going to retain it. We're not designed to retain it, right? You'd have to watch this 100 times in a row over 100 days to retain what I'm doing here. So I want you to imagine what your life would look like when you get this information. The information we teach is not opinion, right? It's the information of the world's wealthiest people, the people that shaped this planet, the people that invented automobiles, electricity, right? It's the information that Warren Buffett has. This is how this man processes information. And this is what we teach in the Mindset Masters, right? Uncle G, even though he doesn't admit it, right? He's an unconscious competent. Grant Cardone cannot articulate and teach what we're teaching here because he hasn't studied the mind. He studied real estate, and he's very good at real estate, right? But he's not good at teaching the mind. That's where we're professionals. This is what Bob and I are doing, right? We're going all over the world, and we're teaching this stuff. And like I said, we created this so no one gets left behind. I got sick and tired. You know, we have 5- and 6-figure coaching clients, but I get sick and tired of not being able to serve the masses, right? We're going to drop the link. Luke, if you got the link there, you can go ahead and drop it in the chat there. And we're gonna post it here. But I want you guys to imagine what your life would look like, right? What would your life look like with this information? This is the information. Alex is trained with Bob. Luke is trained with Bob, right? So I want you guys to think about this, and we're gonna get you guys the link for the Matrix Mindset Academy. And again, this is the information that my good buddy Luke has in his mind, right? Through the spaced repetition of content. This is the information we teach at the Mindset Masters. Guys, if you want to get wealthy, if you want to hit Chairman 10, Chairman 25, Chairman 100, click on the link. It's right here. It's a bit.ly link. It's bit.ly/LongMoney Luc. bit.ly/LongMoney Luc. Now, there's 1,000 people on this webinar, and I'm guessing we could probably only get 100 or 200 in. Maybe Luke, maybe we can do this again in the future, but my team can only handle so many registrations at a time. So if you're interested in this, guys, do not screw around. It's going to blow up quick. I think we had 1,000 people on this, but I do want to make an effort to really reach out to Luke and his network and you guys. I love entrepreneurs. I love helping entrepreneurs. I've dedicated my life. When you go to some of our websites, you'll see that myself and my daughter, we've dedicated our lives to this stuff, and we created the Matrix Mindset Academy for you guys. So it's a bit.ly link. There it is right there. bit.ly/LongMoney Luc, and we'll get you guys signed up. So Luke, that's my rant, brother. I appreciate you bringing me on. I appreciate you as a human being and as I am as a God, right? And hopefully this has been of some value. Hopefully you took some notes yourself, and hopefully I didn't speak too fast.
No, thank you, Brian. Thank you so much for this call, guys. Drop some 7s in the chat if you got some value. Drop some 7s in the chat if you guys got some value. I know I was taking notes. I got my notes right here. Information changes situations. Applied knowledge is power, right? So if you don't do anything with this information, right, you're in the same position you were. So Brian, thank you once again. And we'll be doing a couple calls in the near future, maybe into this week, maybe next week. And just stay tuned, guys. I dropped the link. If you guys do have no questions, or you need the link if it got lost in the 7s, just message me on Instagram, or, get it down right here. And once again, thank you, Brian. Thank you for everybody hopping on this call, all 1,000. We got 960 left. So looking forward to some more value from yourself. Looking forward, to the program mastery, mindset mastery, and everything. So once again, thank you, Brian. And we're going to go ahead and conclude this call. I did record it, and definitely stay tuned, to Instagram and the Telegram for more trainings and more value. See you guys. Have a good night, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you're from. And we'll see you next time.
Be well. God bless everybody. Thanks for your time. Thanks, Luke.